On the last video, I started talking about live your legacy. And then I started to talk about what that entailed and what that meant to me. And then psych! So I'm gonna tell you about what live your legacy means to me. Why I think it's important that everyone has a mantra, a motto, a mission statement, a reason. So here we go. Hashtag RTDL, Real Talk, Devin Legaspi. This is my mantra, live your legacy, right? At the back of my book, I have all these, I don't know if you can see it. They're all my quotes that make sure I stay on this path. I carry this book everywhere. I write everything that I think about in this book. I think it's a great thing to have. I think that everyone should keep a journal just to get shit off your chest. If you got no one to talk to and you haven't got a camera, write it down. So I feel that it's important to have a motto, a mantra, a mission statement to give you a focus of where you want to be. To give you a focus of where you want to be. Just an example, someone that wants to be a pro athlete. That's their destination. That gives them the focus that they need to achieve their goal. They start off when they're young, they show determination, courage, they show discipline, hard work, they have to show confidence, energy, and they've got to repeat in and day out. They might not become pro athletes. There's a very small chance that this person might become a pro athlete, right? They give themselves a chance to go to university and get a scholarship, which in turn can open up another world of opportunities, a free education. Just offhand, they give a free education. But then the people inside there, even though they don't become pro athletes, if they take advantage of the opportunities they get while going to university and the doors that it opens, it's a win-win. It's a leg up. It's awesome. But initially, the focus was to become a pro athlete. Having a goal will set you on a focus where you want to go, and then on that journey that you take, opportunities will arise, and you got to grab them with both hands. That's why I think a motto, a mantra, a mission statement. I don't know if I'm using mantra right. I don't think I'm using the word mantra right. So I apologize. But having a mission statement and a motto for who you are, for what you're trying to achieve is a must. I think it's a must. Back to live your legacy. Essentially, live your legacy is about me trying to inspire my kids to what you say, to never ever stop dreaming. To never ever stop dreaming. How could I inspire them to keep dreaming and to follow their dreams if I stop following mine? This live your legacy, this came up. I made it a permanent thing with me on the 1st of July, 2017. So I thought about this. I mulled over it, about what it meant to me, and if it relates to me, if it's who I am or what I want to be, if it's the path that I want to take. That's the other thing. Don't rush into a mission statement. Give yourself time to think about it. Write shit down. Get to know who you are. I've said this numerous times, but write down on a piece of paper who you are, what your personality is, what your hobbies are, what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what makes you everything about you. Write it down, and then write down where you want to be, what you want to do, what person you want to be. And if they match up, then you're on the right path. If they don't, then make the changes to be where you want to be or be the person you want to be. I picked this up on one podcast, I think. Like, if you're going towards your goal or away from your goal, there's no in between. If you have a focus on what your motto is, what your mission statement is, are you going towards that or are you going away from that? There's no neutral. Or every choice that you make, is it going towards it or away from your goal? I thought that was brilliant. And that forces you to make a choice. That forces you not to sit on the fence. Your motto only has to make sense to you. If it doesn't make sense to anyone else, who cares? As long as it makes sense to you, only you. Live your legacy is the focus and the purpose where I want to go. It keeps me on track, but sometimes there are bumps in the road. Like always, there are bumps, detours, roadblocks, whatever, right? So I ask myself questions to make sure that I'm going in the positive direction and not the negative direction. It's like snakes and ladders, you roll the dice, living life, you go up, and then you just make a wrong turn. Down the snake you go. Your turn again, you pick up the dice and you roll it again. You keep going until you reach your goal. Snakes and ladders, the meaning of life. Anyways, back to this, right? So I have Make your story count. Change is forever. That is very important to me because it was very hard for me to adapt to change. Very, very hard for me to adapt to change. So there's another one that says change is the only constant, right? Everything constantly changes. People's mind changes, emotions changes, people fall in love, fall out of love, circumstances changes, like you might break your leg, your mindset might change, you might fall into depression. Shit changes all the time. The world is always evolving. I mean, look at global warming, for goodness sake. And it took a long, long time for me to accept that change is the only constant in this world. Just another side note, these quotes are for me, for my journey. You have to look up the relevant quotes that suit you. Don't take yourself too seriously. Think about the end game. Never stop dreaming. Never ever stop dreaming. This is another one that like really hit home. Failing is learning. Every time you fail, you've learned something new. If you're not failing, you're not learning. Everyone that's successful has failed. Big time. Big time. The bigger the failure, the bigger the lesson that was learned. So the next one is nothing will destroy my happiness. Why I think it's powerful is because it's your choice to be happy. Some, it might take more effort than others, but you can totally choose. I am living example. I was a grumpy bum. I like that cup half empty, that analogy. I always saw the cup half empty. I'm slowly changing to a more, it's half full kind of guy. And last, and not least, you have one life, so have fun. Have fun. Whatever the hell you do, have